Hey there guys, Mike here. Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection is back for another video to show you guys some new pickups and stuff like that, recommendations. Today I want to talk about the actor James Garner. Pretty famous, you know, he worked well into the 90s before he passed away, pretty much worked up until his death. So he had a pretty long career in Hollywood, movies such as The Great Escape and, man, tons of movies. But there's some new ones that I've finally picked up by James Garner, and I just want to show some of those off and everything. I was actually looking for this release. I almost got the Kino versions. Kino released both of these separately, and I think they may be out of print. But I couldn't find one that was reasonably priced, and in time I bought two of them, it was going to be, you know, even more money. So what I did was Twilight Time, the really good label that went out of business 3 or 4 years ago. A lot of their videos are now worth a lot of money, especially on eBay and places like that. They're all out of print. But this was a dual release. It has both the movies I wanted, and I got a really good deal on it, and it was brand new to boot. So movies I'm talking about is Support Your Local Sheriff, and follow-up, Support Your Local Gunfighter. Both of them starring James Garner, amongst other people. Directed by I'll take my glasses off here. Directed by Burt Kennedy, written and directed by Burt Kennedy. He had a real flair for comedic writing and stuff. He was probably one of the best directors of, like, I guess you could say, comedy westerns. But in watching both of these, I really liked Support Your Local Sheriff a little bit more than Gunfighter. I think I need to watch Gunfighter again. I mean, they're both good, don't get me wrong, but it's got a great cast. Henry Morgan, bunch of cool people. I'll just leave my glasses off. Joan Hackett, Walter Brennan, and the other one, Suzanne Pleshette, Harry Morgan, Joan Blondell. And of course you got Jack Elam. He shows up in this, but very, very funny, well-made westerns. I saw these on, I think, cable television in the early 90s. I think I didn't see the Gunfighter one. I saw that much later, but I remember seeing Support Your Local Sheriff way back then. I think I copied it off TV on VHS and stuff like that. But I hadn't seen it for years and years, and I wanted to get this. And this is a really nice release. It's got both of them on there. It's got a booklet, everything. It looks really good, sounds great. It includes the isolated soundtrack where you just listen to the music and effects. It's got audio commentary on Support Your Local Sheriff with film historian Lee Pfeiffer and Paul Sacracho. And it has the original trailers on here. So really good. They look really good. Burt Kennedy, highly underrated. I mean, he wrote a lot of good movies. Kind of did some of the stuff with Bud Bedecker and Randolph Scott. He's directed all kinds of stuff. He really underrated. But as a writer, I mean, really good writer of westerns and stuff, and a very good director. But yeah, Burt Kennedy, I think he lived up until the early 2000s, 2006 possibly, and but did a lot of cool stuff. And this is a good release. If you can find this Twilight Time double feature disc, it's highly recommend it. Next up, this was a movie that I only had this on Laserdisc for the longest time. This is a movie directed by John Frankenheimer, who I'm a pretty big fan of as a director. And this was filmed in Super Panavision 70 millimeter. And you can really tell Frankenheimer used the 70 millimeter Super Panavision lenses and stuff on a couple of his movies. One that you can really tell it was used on was Ice Station Zebra, which is really cool. It's a really big 70 millimeter size on it. It's huge. I mean, it's really cool. This is a movie I picked up called Grand Prix, and this is from 1966, and it's got an all-star cast. You got James Garner, Eva Marie Saint, Yves Montand from France. You got Toshiro Mifune from Japan, Brian Bedford, Jessica Walter, Antonio Sabato, who did a lot of spaghetti westerns, and Francois Hardy. I'm sure I tore that up really good. But this was made for MGM, and music was by Maurice Jarre. Really cool. This is a digital transfer from the original 65 millimeter. I'm sorry, I said 70. 65 millimeter elements from the greatest auto racing movie ever. Made for speed and high def, the revved up 3-time Oscar winner. This has got 5 featurettes, which are pretty cool. A couple of them I think are what do you call it? One's from the time, archived ones. It also says it's filmed in Cinerama. So you got Super Panavision and Cinerama. So I don't know. I have to kind of look at that. Maybe do some research, because it's Super Panavision, which is, I guess, 60. I thought it was 70, and then Cinerama is 70. So I don't know. I have to, but that's what it says here. Metro Color, which was MGM's color process at the time. But yeah, I had this on Laserdisc for the longest time, and it was so-so. One thing that kind of just wasn't that great on there is the musical score by Maurice Jarre. I mean, he's done famous scores for Dr. Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia and a bunch of movies like that. Legend, a legendary composer. But I don't know, I just didn't like it at certain times. I don't know, it was too bouncy and too happy to go with the intensity of the racing and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I need to watch it again and figure it out, but it's not a bad movie at all. It's very action-packed and everything. I mean, John Frankenheimer rarely disappoints and everything. So Grand Prix, a movie, I need to kind of watch it a couple more times and give it a fair chance. But one of the things, watching it for the first time, and I think I've only seen it once, I didn't remember anything about it. So in watching it again, the musical score was kind of, maybe it's just me. But anyways. And finally, guys, this is a movie. I haven't watched this yet. I literally just got this. This is a movie directed by Paul Bogart. It's based on a Raymond Chandler story called The Little Sister. This is 1969's Marlowe. So James Garner's playing the famous Philip Marlowe, Private Eye, and but yeah, it's this again was made for MGM in 1969. It's got Gail Honeycutt, Carol O'Connor, Rita Moreno, and William Daniels stars in this. But yeah, this is one of the made-on-demand Warner Archive titles. They always look good. Don't get me wrong. And these were done for DVD, the made-on-demand ones. But what kind of irks me about these is you never get the subtitles. I like putting the subtitles on and watching it. I usually watch them late at night, so I don't have to turn it way up, But they never on these, which is kind of a drag. But yeah, pretty cool. Screenplay by Sterling Silliphant. It was always an interesting name. But yeah, it's kind of a sprawling 1960s LA private eye detective mystery story. So it's really cool. I'm going to check this out really soon. I've heard it was pretty good. Kind of a somewhat of a cult classic in a way. So Marlowe. There you go, guys. That's 3 movies that I just recently got by James Garner. So actually it's 4 movies, but 3 discs. And Hope you guys enjoy that. Any comments, let me know. And if you enjoyed this episode, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and check out my past episodes. So until next time, guys, I'm Mike. Watch good movies, and I'll see you again.